you're Guinness Book of World Records. You're getting into the really athletic arena for someone with a disability, right? And you're saying, okay, I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to be the best me I can in that, as well as helping people through that journey, right? So when did you start getting the organizations that you were involved, that helped you and that you were involved in? When did you start being able to see, hey, I can give back?
Yeah, I mean, I think for a long time I was doing that. And when I left the hospital in 2009, and there's an organization called the EOD Warrior Foundation, which helps men and women who did the job of EOD, explosive ordnance disposal. And I was a mentor with them. I was a board member, but also visiting the hospital every Wednesday to have lunch with the folks at the hospital, EOD folks who are wounded in combat. And I was doing that early on and did that for a long time. But what I wasn't doing was like taking care of myself in an authentic way that was setting a good example for those folks. So I think, that drive to provide those services was there for a long time, but to do it by setting and leading an example was much later in life.
Okay.
So, that started in 2015, and when I really started putting the pieces back together, I went back to school in 2016 is kind of when I started that journey of putting that educational background with an authentic lifestyle and my experience from my time in the hospital and the military, and really like putting that range of things together to be the best person to help in those situations.
Because you went back you already had a degree?
I had an undergrad.
Undergrad.
And then
where'd you get that at?
It's through mainly through the military, but then an organization called American Military University, which is like online.
And then you went to George Washington.
That's right.
And you got your degree in...
It's confusing, but it's like rehabilitation counseling, which is also like, I don't know. It's hard to explain for to the layperson, but it's clinical counseling basically. So working with individuals in the clinical counseling or clinical psychology sense, meaning clinical depression, clinical anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, other traumas, substance use disorders, things like that.
And so that was part of your journey into what you're doing now. And then you said, how long ago you decided to start going back to school?
2021, I guess. I went back and did a master's in sport and performance psychology. So specifically working with athletes and other high-performing individuals on the mental performance side.
So I want to talk about the phase in your life that you're in currently and the journey that brought you to what you do now. So tell me a little bit about what you do, who you do it with, and why.
Yeah, so my company is called Couch to 100. So it's a representation of where I was sitting on the couch and then running a 100-mile race. But more importantly, it's going from the couch to like my 100%, right? My full self or the pursuit of my best self. And, my organization stands for people who are either on the couch and contemplating this change or somewhere closer to what their full potential is or anywhere in between, and working with them to become the best version of themselves. So I work with athletes and leaders and people in high-risk occupations and military members who want to pursue human performance or performance excellence or what that might look like specific to them.
Okay. I'm on the couch, Adam. I want to be the best custom home builder in Boulder County. We think we are, but I want to make sure we are.
A new demographic.
All right. But it's business. I mean, it's coaching. It's human coaching, right? I mean,
exactly.
Your leadership, performance coaching. You're pushing individuals. Do you work with businesses?
I do. Yeah. I do.
So you're pushing those people, giving them a path off the couch. How would you start with somebody like me?
Yeah. So I wouldn't say I'm pushing them. I like to develop a sense of pull, right?
Okay.
So for running for me, it was like pulling me towards something bigger. And it's working with individuals to understand what's important to them, and trying to help them understand and create a pull towards those things, those values that they have.
I like how you say that. Not a push, but a pull.
Right.
Yeah.
And oftentimes people are dissuaded by that push mentality, right? It's like, you should go run, and like running's not for everybody, right?
Yeah.
But,
don't shit on me. You know.
right. And I hear that all the time, like, oh, I want to like it. I want to, and it's not for everyone, right? But there is something for everyone, and it's really working with that individual to understand what that is, and then helping them see it for themselves, and then developing ideas on what those moves look like when they're pursuing it, and what those moves look like when they're moving away from it, and helping them build those skills to put those tools in place to help them move towards it, and recognizing when they're either moving towards or away, that thing that's important to them.
So couch to 100.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of your clients? Not names, but give me some of the examples you did. I mean, pretty general, but give me a edited version that you can share with me of a story that you're working with somebody on.
Yeah, so I've worked with people and athletes all the way up to people who race at the world championship level, in trying to prepare them for the biggest race of their lives. And then also, what I might call like mid or back of the athletes, where back of the pack athletes that just want to go out and enjoy the event, and have their best day, right? And, I find a sense of pride and purpose in both sides of it, right? And I think working with those individuals who were like me 8-9 years ago really gives me a sense of pride in that sense, where it's, this could lead to really big changes eventually. But if you're not enjoying it and understanding kind of why you're doing this now, it could potentially end there. So it's working with them in these early stages to help them develop that healthy relationship with what they're doing, why they're doing it, and helping them remain constant and consistent in pursuing that.
So is a lot of the support that you give meetings? Is it you guys doing things together? How is it? What's kind of your model to bring them from the couch to 100?
Yeah, it's all of that, and I like how you picked that up, because some of my most rewarding times with clients are going out for a run.
Yeah,
and just simply doing a jog and talking to them, and it's a type of therapy, or what I do isn't necessarily therapy, but it's a type of interaction that I find, I don't know,
you're mentoring and coaching, and therapy. I mean, I think they all kind of blend into one little area.
Yeah, totally.
But you want to find the right vocabulary that doesn't.
Right. What I was going to say.
What's a unique way that you use in your coaching with your clients that you feel is your special sauce?
My special sauce?
Yeah.
I think my special sauce is me as a person. It's sure there's been people who have served in the military, and there's been people who have gotten off the couch and done big things and gone back to school and, overcome a disability to do great things and have degrees in this. But to put all that together in like one package and really showcase the best of all those areas of my life, to coach, I don't know, to lead by example, to kind of reflect on something I said earlier, and do it authentically. I think that's kind of my special sauce.
I like that. Authentic is, that's a key word for me in my life, is it's got to be authentic. So I appreciate that. So working with your clients, you're also, by leading by example, that's important to you, right? Like saying, hey, I've done this. what's the hardest challenge that you've put yourself through to date that gives you the mental or, the skills to be able to share with them in a way that is going to help their game?
Yeah, the hardest, I think it's a daily, consistent and constant pursuit of working with those thoughts that come up, right? So those thoughts that we all have that can be unproductive and as I mentioned before, like inhibiting and challenging. And, for 7 years, I lived with those thoughts of, you can't do that. This was taken away from you. But then once you start to become aware of those thoughts and kind of what's inhibiting or limiting you, and then just constantly through like daily practice of working through those thoughts and approaching them and overcoming them. And the more you can do that and the more consistently and the longer you can do that, like you can go on to really do big things. So when you build that into your daily practice and you're doing these like tough events, 50, 100-mile races, and those thoughts do start to creep in, then you've worked through them before. You know what you can do to get past them or work through them.
Yeah. Well, so I'm a guy who wants to run 100 miles. Why should I listen to you? What have you done that I would be impressed with?
What have I done?
Yeah, no, that's what I mean is like, I'm trying to get you to tell me what one of your hardest challenges, not necessarily psychological, but physical and psychological.
Yeah, sure. I kind of went down a rabbit hole.
That's okay.
So I think my biggest psychological and physical challenge was trying to run a 100-mile race, my first 100-mile race, because no above-knee amputee that I could find had done that before. So I was going to the complete unknown of if this was possible. Nobody had done it before. How do I do it? Is it even humanly possible? And trying to prepare myself for that, knowing that I might fail or might hurt myself or might, like, again, the unknown of doing something that I had no understanding of. So that training process and working up to that was difficult, but then the race itself was on a different level, something I had never experienced before.
How long did that 100 miles take you?
26 and a half hours.
Okay.
So with about 18 or 19 miles left, my ankle was swollen. I was physically exhausted. I was mentally exhausted. And I walked for 18 miles. And most of those miles, those thoughts are starting to come in, like, why are you doing this? Can you do this? I was like falling asleep because I was so exhausted while I'm walking. My ankle was totally messed up. And, by the end of it, like I got through it, but I can't understand to this day, like how.
But you did it.
But I did it.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes easier once you do it again. So I've done it 4 times since then, and each time is a little bit easier.
Yeah. Do you have another challenge coming up that you're really going to push yourself?
I do.
Can you talk about it?
I can. So this past year, basically, and maybe we can talk about this, but for about 1.5 years, I was focused on triathlon, sprint triathlon, racing at the world triathlon level. That would be the Paralympics. Okay. And I've been to a couple world championships in triathlon, and I was really trying to pursue the Paralympics for about 1.5 years, and I poured a ton of my time and effort and energy and sacrifice into that. In September, I raced the World Championships sprint level triathlon and didn't really achieve what I hoped to. So I kind of like closed that chapter and went on back to running, back to something I is more of a pull than a push. I think triathlon was a push for me. So getting pulled back into running was something that I really fell back in love with and just really started pursuing it again persistently and at a high level starting in October last year. And since then, I've seen really good success and have been running my best times ever, which is saying a lot over the past 9 years because I have done some pretty cool and big things. But after seeing that, I was like, all right, what's next? What's the next big challenge? And I started, brainstorming, I guess. And for a long time, I hated running on the treadmill. First it started out as I hated running trails. And I finally got over that and, ran trails and was okay at it. And then
trails is just hard because of the balance.
Trails is hard for a lot of things. So it is. It's the terrain, the rocks, the roots, and running with my prosthetic. I don't have a anatomical knee, so I have a mechanical knee. And anytime you take a misstep, it's really dangerous and you can fall. And I, especially starting out, I didn't need that extra hurdle. And for a long time, I was like, I'll never run trails. And then I started running trails. I was like, oh, I can do this. And then I got decent at it and ran, JFK is notoriously has 13 miles on the Appalachian Trail, which is pretty technical terrain. And I did that 1 year and I was like, never again. And then I've done it 6 times since. Yeah. And similarly, I was like, I hate running on the treadmill. It's really difficult. It's dangerous. And moving to Colorado, you have cold winters and it's kind of the nature of the beast, right? It's like the ice and the snow. It's either run on that or run inside on the treadmill. And I started to become okay at that. And again, doing something that I thought was, that I couldn't do. So this year I was like, all right, what's next for me? And, those 7 Guinness World Records that you mentioned before is records in road running mainly. So anything from the half marathon to the 100-mile distance in the 24-hour, running 102 miles in 24 hours. And I'm just going to carry that over to doing that on the treadmill. So running on the treadmill for 24 hours.
Oh, wow.
And then trying to carry some of those road records to the treadmill and do a really, it's going to be a mentally taxing, physically taxing event that, I couldn't see myself doing maybe a year ago.
Are you going to try and run the whole time and not walk 18 miles?
Good dig. I'll probably be there will probably be some walking on this one.
Yeah, that 24 hours, that's a lot.
Yeah. I've ran 24 hours before.
Uh-huh. Is there another purpose why you're doing this?
Yeah, I think the deeper purpose is, again, always finding a new challenge for me, or at least finding a goal so big that, you don't think you can do it. But if you work hard enough to get there, then you kind of grow into a new person and being able to complete this, right? So that's part of it. But the bigger part is this continuing journey that I've been on for the past 9 years and really highlighting organizations who have supported me across this journey.
Okay.
So I've highlighted a couple of them earlier, but really just pointing out, I couldn't be this person who I am today or this person who I'll be in October when I am doing this event without the support of so many people and organizations, right? So one of which is sitting next to me, some of which are in this room, and the countless others who have been there, from that guy on the battlefield who stopped me from dying, to the clinicians who supported me in that year of the hospital, to those organizations who supported my transition and educational pursuits and physical pursuits and all these other things that I've done over the past 16 and a half years, and really highlighting them through this event.
All right. And this event, where are you going to do it?
So this event's taking place in the Hoka flagship store in New York City. So if you're familiar with Hoka shoes,
I just got my first pair
cool.
before I went on a European vacation, and they are well used. I love them.
Yeah, I've put a ton of miles on mine over the past 9 years, and I love them too. And they're one of the supporters of this, and it's taking place in their flagship store in New York, October 15th.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, it'll be something. Couch to 100.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to take Couch to 100? What's your 5-year vision?
Yeah, I hate that question.
Okay. What's your 5.5-year vision? No. Do you have some ideas of where you want to take Couch to 100?
Yeah, I think I just want to perfect what I do and not necessarily like be huge, I don't
Start another organization.
Right. I don't know. I don't have these like grandiose ideas of, building a huge client base and working with so many people and being, featured in, magazines or whatever. I just want to work with individuals who need the help, who want the help, who want to do the actions it requires to make big changes in their life and just be the support and catalyst to whatever they need. And I want to be that person I needed 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago to those people now. It's as simple as that, and just do it well and do it authentically. And
no, that's good. So with Couch to 100, what do you like? Do you have, how many able-bodied clients do you have?
Pretty much all of them.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's an interesting, because, coming from your journey and saying, hey, I can really help these guys or these people. Mm-hmm. You can help them too, but the struggle is a human struggle because it's all about the obstacles.
Totally.
So your clients are able-bodied individuals who want to succeed like you have.
Totally. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, no, that's pretty intriguing. So it's a good discussion. I feel like I want to unpack a lot of stuff, but
unpack it.
I need you. You're going to send me a bill for therapy.